The fundamental purpose animating the faith of God and His religion is to safeguard the interests and promote the unity of the human race, and to foster the spirit of love and fellowship amongst men. As the life of humanity undergoes a process of profound change, across the globe, followers of Baha'u'llah, in the company of their friends, are striving with great enthusiasm to put into practice his teachings. Working shoulder to shoulder with neighbors and colleagues, they are learning how to build vibrant and prosperous communities. Communities that begin to reflect a united and illumined new world.
The revelation of Baha'u'llah has the power to transform society. For the last many decades, we've been learning how to take that revelation and apply it in order to affect the spiritual and material progress of society. Around 20 years ago, we reached a turning point. A process that started to unfold was the systematic training of individuals to build their capacity in order to be effecting change in their communities.
ធ្វើឲ្យមនុស្សទូទៅបានភាគច្រើនដែលគេបានឆ្លងកាត់ជាឋានហ្នឹងបានធ្វើឲ្យគេបានកសាងសមត្ថភាពរបស់ពួកគេផ្លាស់ប្ដូរពួកគេទៅជាការផ្លាស់ប្ដូររបស់ពួកគេហ្នឹងគឺការជួយទៅដល់អ្នកដទៃការបម្រើទៅដល់អ្នកដទៃ
We have now this tool, this instrument of limitless potentialities that is helping us to develop our capabilities to actually translate what has been written in Baha'u'llah's writings into very practical action. And maybe then the question before us now is how do we bring more and more friends into this process so that together as a collective we can really advance in our capacity.
Vamos a memorizar una cita. Cita de Baha'u'llah es una cita muy bella que nos va a enseñar a tener un corazón puro. Oh, hijo del Espíritu.
Tunashukuru kwa kufika kuona open. Au success gani ushapata depuis ça ulianza fungula kope hapo ya Baha'i?
युवा भनेको चाहिँ यस्तो अवस्था हो जस्तै कि वसन्तकाल जस्तो हैन त्यो अवस्थामा हामीहरू के पनि गर्न सक्छौँ चाह्यौँ भने युवाहरू हैन अनि युवा भनेको एउटा निर्भीक सिंह जस्तै हो त्यसकारणले चाहिँ हामी युवाहरू त्यो युवा भइसकेपछि हामीहरू के त आफ्नो समाजको लागि केही न केही राम्रो काम गर्नुपर्ने छ यसको जुन राम्रो नैतिक उद्देश्यको बारेमा हामी उनीहरूसँग कुरा गर्न सक्छौँ.
In October 2017, people from every walk of life gathered in homes and halls, parks and universities to celebrate the bicentenary of the birth of Baha'u'llah.
When I think about the bicentenary celebrations, I think one of the things that we've seen is how ready people are now to speak of the life of Baha'u'llah and of his teachings directly, and how ready people are to hear them. And I think that has been a change.
Baha'u'llah ha traído estas herramientas para realmente transformar nuestras vidas individuales y colectivas. El Bicentenario nos llevó a otro nivel de acción colectiva.
As more and more souls learn to apply the Baha'i approach to building vibrant communities, populations around the world are increasingly spurred into action, learning to take charge of their own development.
Baha'u'llah, además de que nos da ese sentido de propósito, ya como individuos, nos indica claramente cómo podemos cumplir ese propósito en base a las interacciones que tengamos con los demás. Uno ve personas, uno ve grupos, uno ve comunidades donde la llegada, ¿no?, de las enseñanzas Baha'is fue el punto de partida hacia nuevos niveles de mejor calidad de vida.
Sydney as a city has between 4 and 5 million people. There are around 600 core activities that are taking place. And there are two approaches that the community takes to its own growth and development. The first approach is really working with the whole community through efforts with the youth, efforts in terms of children's classes and devotional meetings. The second approach is in a neighbourhood or a small part of Sydney. The first approach, where there's a broad learning across the whole community, is able to bring insights to the work that's happening in the focused areas, but at the same time, where there's focused energy, the learning can go quite deep. And so this is able to be shared throughout the cluster.
Community building efforts in Sydney aimed at working in neighbourhoods had begun sometime in 2008.
We're really trying to see how we can go deeper into a community and how to reach a large proportion of a neighbourhood. We also wanted to learn about having institute camps. So we started experimenting to see how we could take a group of youth very quickly within 2 or 3 cycles through the whole sequence of courses, so that by the end of the 2 cycles we had a group of tutors.
I started the process about 3 years ago by being invited to an institute camp. Now I'm a tutor, junior youth animator and a children's class teacher. My mum also is in the process. Yeah, I guess this journey, it wasn't something that happened overnight, but it's something that took place and really made that foundation of like my family becoming like unified. To share this passion to want to serve and to want to come to the institute camps is, I don't know, it's a great feeling.
So after the institute process entered the community, people really saw the value of the process itself and really took ownership of it. And now it's the people of the neighborhood who have become the driving force of change in the community.
We were part of the first intake, so we're what we're called here as the veterans. The program has changed my way of thinking. I have a purpose now, like to serve, to teach. We have a lot of like diverse cultures here. If I wasn't involved in this program a few years back, I don't think I would even be here sitting with like, you know, like Aboriginals, Australians. I was always like a person that stayed with the islanders, and that's how it was for us growing up. But now I have this sense of diversity where I want to be friends with everyone, like, you know, all different cultures.
It was really hard to bring a lot of different people together, but we really grew a lot. We had a deeper connection because we were going through this process together. And now whole families going through the process. They're now consulting together and solving problems amongst the family.
To us now, it's not even a program, it's just a way of life. Like, my kids enjoy being involved, you know, even the animator, yeah, I don't look at him now as, oh, that's just your animator, you know. He has become like family to us, and it's not often you have your kids coming home and being like, you know what, Mum, if you think about it this way and you go about life that way, and, you know, I'm the parent, and to have them sitting there and changing my mind, changing my train of thought. Yeah, it's all because of what they're learning. Like I said, it's changed not just my kids' life, but my life too, like for the better.
Through these community activities, we can see that the youth are thinking of each other and of each other's families, and the families are thinking of the community as a whole. In many instances where the community has gone through tragedies with families, maybe there have been deaths in families or like financial problems, the youth have banded together to try and assist that. It feels good, you know, to see that we're affecting the community in such a good way. You know, it feels really awesome to be that change.
The youth have a unified vision, and they're focusing and they're channeling a lot of their energy to, you know, transforming their communities.
I'm studying youth work, and I'm hoping to do a diploma and try to get into uni and stuff like that, because I thought maybe I'm doing this all the time. Why not just get my qualifications? Like, why not be able to broaden, like make it like a lot more where I can help people?
We all committed ourselves to a lifetime of service. We tutor Ruhi books together. We start core activities together. We accompany many other people, and it's a very special relationship that we share. Yeah, it's just grounded in service, I think, which is the most beautiful thing.
Sometimes I ask myself, you know, where would I be if it wasn't for, you know, this movement and this process? Because really, at this point in my life, there's no other way I would spend my time, my young years that are limited. Yeah, I thank Baha'u'llah for having enabled me to serve my community.
After seeing how the Institute process really affects the neighborhood and how much change can come through it, the youth decided to create teams to go out and share the process with other surrounding areas and clusters to help those communities advance. We're not just focused on the advancement of our own community, but we want to see other communities advance as well.
As this process began to take shape, very quickly it began to also influence the efforts of other tutors and other communities throughout Sydney. Once this gathered momentum, one could really get the sense of the whole of Sydney moving.